Boz here from Modern Wall Street.
Mark here from Trading Market Technicals.
And this is
Talking
Technicals.
I love it.
You love being here?
I do.
Me too. Mark, thank God for Betty as secretary.
Thank God for Betty.
You can come here every other Tuesday.
I could.
God bless her.
Maybe more. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe Betty can take a little more hours.
I think the people like you. They really do.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
So
That's
let's do ourselves a favor since it's been a couple weeks.
Yes.
Let's take a look at how the S&P is doing since we last spoke.
I think it's a great
Right, just
idea,
a
right?
little
We always
cover.
like to revisit it, right?
Before we get to the
So the
requests.
last time we were here, we were back in on the 12th of February, right?
Yes.
And we were below the 200-day moving average, and now we're above it.
And now we're above it. Look at
So
that.
it looks pretty good, right? Everybody's excited. There's a lot of euphoria to the buy side, meaning that everybody is feeling good about themselves. As far as the market is concerned. So I mean, I think that's a good sign, but.
Feel good about yourself.
You gotta look at it at a contrarian indicator as well.
Let's look at it like this too. That means we have new support and new resistance.
Right.
Am I right?
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct.
Which the 200-day will be the new support.
The 200-day will act as support. We're sitting at resistance right now at the 76 fib.
Of course.
Right, and we're still there.
And that has proved to show some resistance before.
That's correct.
So that's major.
And on top of that, I did look before we went on the air, and I saw that Powell was speaking, and the market actually sold off a little bit, but nothing really major. So it's kind of holding right up in this area.
Everyone fell asleep at their desk and accidentally hit the
Especially
the
when
sell
he talks.
signal.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Poor guy.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. So we're doing okay, but sentiment is high. So when sentiment is high, it's always a contrarian indicator, right?
Sure, and then look at MACD and RSI. That is an overbought territory,
yes.
Mark. So it is so there has been a change, but there still hasn't been a real change in the feeling. Would you say?
That's right. That's correct. I think that we're still we're in an overbought state at the moment. Momentum indicators are overbought. Not a sell signal, right? We don't want it to say, okay, now I'm going to start looking to sell the market. No, we always need a trigger. We always need a plan in place. I do deem this still corrective. I did get emails about that.
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Someone asked on Twitter last week, would you call a top yet?
Okay, that was a great question, and I've gotten also a lot of emails from a lot of my subscribers.
Of course.
I'm very, very close to calling a top. Very close.
Really?
I have to see when this pause or pullback starts and begins. Then we're going to see what kind of selling pressure we're going to have. If the selling starts to really pick up. Excuse me. Then we're going to have a lower high from the previous high back in October. And then that's going to really watch when I monitor that. Then I'll be able to really assess it and say, okay, I'm going to call a top.
Well, glad we asked you.
Yeah, thank
All right,
you.
so I'm going to take your top hat. I'm going to put it on me since we didn't call a top yet, and let's move on to some requests.
All right.
So.
Great handles, by the way.
Oh
Again.
my God.
Oh,
so this
God.
one is by Urgent Click Here. Thank you, Urgent Click Here.
That's crazy.
That sounds urgent. This is the emerging.
Thanks for the request.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, we love when you guys get involved. EET, an emerging market ETF.
Yeah.
So let's take a gander.
Okay.
Okay, volume is super. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's light and weird.
Yeah, volume is very light here. The first thing that jumps off of me, jumps out at me is the volume. Volume is very inconsistent,
Me
very
too,
light,
yeah.
right? So that means a word of caution, right? You always want to use caution when you're trading anything with low volume. Any instrument, security, future with low volume, ETF, you always want to be kind of cautious, right?
Okay.
So the second thing that jumps out at me is the, let me just grab that, is the repetitive patterns, right?
I noticed that you pointed this out here, like every 10 days, bear flag, bear flag, bear flag, bear flag.
Bear flag.
Bear flag.
Every 8 to 10 days, we had a little bit of a corrective rally, right? It is corrective because we're in a downtrend.
Yes.
So the rally is corrective with very low volume. So the market just kept on doing its thing. And if you can identify that, you can actually trade off of that.
Cool.
Yeah, right.
But now it's too late because now we're identifying a change in the trend.
That's right. We had a change in trend back in December, where we basically put a low in an interim low of the regular market itself. So the EET did it as well.
Sure, and I see that you pulled some Fibonacci levels here, Mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we broke out of the 200-day moving average. We did break out on volume.
Right.
But like you said, volume is inconsistent. But as a trader, I was thinking maybe if you want to take a chance on this stock, let me know what you think about this. If you want to take a chance on this stock, there's limited risk to the downside. We have the confluence area of support with the 200-day and the 50-day.
Correct.
Right? So
That's correct.
what do you think about that?
Okay, so I like what you're saying, and the reason why is because we have an uptrend line, right? So we're making higher highs and higher lows now.
Yes.
So we've already identified a trend change. So we'll say, okay, where if you want to buy EET, where do you want to buy it? You
Sure.
want to buy it in an area of support, right? So I like that area here. Also, the 50-day moving average will also come as support.
Yes.
If it were to come down, but anywhere below that, you're going to test the lows if it breaks down. So you want to identify your stop loss. Either below the 200, anywhere in here where you're going to buy it, and of course, if you're going to look for a next area to buy, would be the 50-day.
And then the next target area is the 38.2% Fibonacci, which is 79.17.
Right.
All
That's
right,
correct.
cool. So this is it's a bullish chart with some caution.
You know what? That's perfect. That's a perfect label for this chart. It's a bullish chart with caution. I'm not saying not to trade it. You just have to be aware of the risks that are involved with low volume stocks. Other than that, I would be very happy to be buying it at those 2 points.
All right, I'm noticing the bling on the cuffs there, Mark.
What's that?
Is that a bull?
And a bear.
Is that? Wait, can we show our viewers this? He has a bull and a bear cufflinks. That's awesome.
Love the markets.
Love the markets. Who needs a bull on your
Isn't
desk
that
when you
funny?
can wear it right on your wrist?
Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious, man. I need one of those.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for noticing.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? It's like blinging all up on my face. Hey, speaking of that, let's go next to our next request.
Another great handle. Another great handle.
Leaf Desk. Leaf Desk suggested APHA, which is a cannabis stock. So that kind of makes
Snoop Dogg's
sense.
best stock.
Snoop Dogg's best. He's like, Snoop Dogg a dog. Let's see what's going on.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it looks like Snoop Dogg was trading this chart.
Oh, my God.
In all
That's
honesty,
great.
listen, cannabis stocks have been smoking.
Yeah.
So let's see what this chart has
A lot
to tell
going
us.
on here, right?
Thank you, Leaf Desk.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Thanks for the request.
All right, cool. Let's look.
So there's a lot going on here.
Sure, absolutely.
So we had a market top in 2018, right? Going into 19. Market sold off for a good couple of months. And then it went sideways, creating a wedge pattern for 6 months. And guys, that's the best pattern I like to see when it comes from the high to low and goes sideways. And you can see the volume is very, very light here.
Very light. Now, it did, then look at where it broke out. The
Yeah.
volume where it broke out
Right.
is still kind of funny looking, but it's still
It's higher than
what it is.
within the wedge pattern, and that validates the breakout, even though it's lower than what a lot of other stocks are.
Yes.
But this is also sort of a light volume trader as well.
Yes, yes, yes. And I also see that you pulled 2 Fibonacci's.
I did.
Because, are you looking for clusters there? Is that what you're doing?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Ah, yes.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm pulling from
Call
high to
that.
low from back in 2018, and then right back here in September to the low right up in here at the current low back in December 26th.
So now volume picked up even more.
Yeah, well, this is a good sign, right?
Yes.
So we had the low. Excellent sign that if you look back to the left side of the chart, we had virtually no volume.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, there's a lot of interest at these lows here. So that tells me that there are some buyers stepping in here at the lows looking to accumulate the stocks. That's it's a good sign.
A really good
Very
sign.
good sign.
And now, we broke above the 200-day moving average.
Right.
And while, yes, you can see, as we cited, like volume has been lower since people were buying it.
Correct.
However, look at compared to what it was
Right.
a few months ago.
Right.
I mean, right? So that's okay.
Right.
In my opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, we're reaching those clusters, Mark.
Correct.
What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so what I did was on the clusters, that's where you're going to have two Fibonacci levels that are lined up together, or could be 3. It depends on how many clusters you try to look for.
Okay.
In this case, for the example of APHA, 61.8 and a 76.4, which you see here, the two arrows that are pointing, those are your 2 higher clusters that's going to be decent resistance.
Cool.
So the target would be somewhere in that 61.8 and the 76. So that's going to be a decent area, guys, where this stock would go to, and also would probably try to break out and have a hard time.
MACD is bullish, so
Yeah.
it most likely will go there.
Yeah, and MACD and RSI actually pull back off of the overbought, so they just kind of reset itself, which is fine. That's what you want. And you can see that we're way above the 50% right here on the RSI. So that's a great sign that there is still strength in the momentum indicators.
Now, Mark, I know that you're a very well-seasoned trader. You're like
Thanks.
the godfather of technical analysis.
Thank you.
But I want to show you something. This almost is like the Jurassic Stegosaurus pattern. See right there?
Yeah.
I mean, look, we have the I don't know where I went. This is why they don't give me the charts to do. See? Look at that. We have the neckline right here. We have the mouth.
Oh my God. That looks like You're crazy.
It's Snoop Dogg's. It's Snoop Dogg's
Snoop
chart.
Dogg's chart.
All right, let's move on to the final request. A more popular one, obviously, is Facebook. And I love watching Facebook because it's really taken a crazy route, right? Wouldn't you say?
You know, it really has.
It
and
has.
You know, this with the scandal,
Oh my
with
gosh.
earnings not doing well.
So this is for Pinsley C. Thank you, Pinsley.
Pinsley,
This
thank you for the
is
request.
For you.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent.
Let's look at
And
this guy.
Facebook's a great trading stock. You know, it's a great stock. You know, it's a high price stock, has a lot of volume, it moves.
Sure.
You know, the average true range on a stock is great if you're looking for a day trading stock. But you know, it does move. You know, there's no question about it. Well, back from the big gap down.
Now that's what I see when I look at this
First
chart.
thing I saw.
I don't even look at the volume. I look at the gaps, and we have
Look at the size of that.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, big gap resistance here, and we have gap support down below where we're currently trading at.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
What happens with gaps, and I will tell you, 99.9% all gaps get filled.
Yes.
It doesn't, now it's not a timing issue, right? But the closer price gets to the gap area, whether it be support or resistance, it will fill that gap.
And we haven't filled those gaps yet.
No, we have not. So you always do. So how do I do that? How do I look for that? I like to see the gap where I am on the chart, and then we get closer. We'll say, you know what? I think that's going to be the target area if the stock is going in that direction. So right now, it looks like more than likely we're going to fill the gap support area first, which is bullish.
Which is bullish.
Yeah.
Now,
As long as it holds.
as long as it holds. So
Right.
you would say, you know, maybe build a long position when that gap is filled.
Correct.
Then we're going to reach our next resistance, which will be that gap resistance mark.
Right, will be that gap resistance. So a great way to play this, and a great point, is if the gap support gets filled down below here, where I'm looking at my looking at the chart, and right underneath is the 50-day moving average, right? So that's a great spot if we do get down here to fill that gap. Look for an entry, put your stop loss in order, right? And then your target area would be, of course, the number one would be the 200-day moving average.
Of course.
And then above that would be the gap,
Yes,
gap
now,
resistance.
but we are on low volume here, Mark, and I have to point out MACD and RSI rolling over a little bit.
Yeah. No, well, you know,
Yes, no, what do you think?
absolutely low volume. If you look previously where we had the rally up,
Yes.
the volume was higher.
Okay.
We do have a low volume pullback is what we want to see.
A
So
low
I
volume
like the low volume pullback. Once the gap is filled, we want to see an increase in volume of the previous volume.
Cool. All
So-
right. So look at that. We have a tech stock, a cannabis stock, and an emerging stock walk into a bar. And what do we get? Some technical analysis from you and
I
I.
love it. Is that great?
Oh my God, Mark, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for
guys
having
for
me.
getting involved. Look forward to a couple weeks, right? We have
2 more weeks.
Yeah, 2 more weeks.
I'll
We
be
have
back.
another Talking Technicals.
I love it, and thank you very much for the request. I think that the requests, keep them coming. Love the handles, and I love the interaction
I
with
love the handles,
with all
too.
the viewers, right? The interaction is great.
It's awesome. We
I
love you
I
guys.
love the feedback too, guys, so thank you very much. It's great.
Thanks, Mark.
Great to be here with
Give
my
Betty
Cubs.
a raise. Yeah, with your Cubs, the bull and the bear.